Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. And this is part 2. We are going to make a black and yellow popper. And once again, the hook that I have in the vise is an Aberdean size 4. It's a nice size for bluegills. It's even good for bass, crappies. And I'm going to use a heavy thread. I'm going to use a 210 thread. I'm going to put a base of thread down. This is a heavy thread. I'm going to spin my thread counterclockwise and it'll get flattened out and it'll cover faster. Then I'm going to bring this back. When I get about halfway, I'm going to go ahead and remove that tag end. 210, you can't pull it and break it. Cut your finger before you break it. Now, I'm going to take my popper, and I put a couple more marks on there. I took it and I put a larger spot on there on both sides so I could know where the location of the eye would be a little better. I put a black stripe on the top, and I put a red stripe on the bottom. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to hold that there, and this is going to help me judge how far I want to bring my thread back for the tail and the collar. So I'm going to come back maybe about another 1/4 of an inch. And we're just in front of the point of the hook. For the tail, I'm going to take a black saddle hackle. This is a strung saddle hackle. And I'm going to take this Marabou type fluff from the back of it. And I'm going to tie this in. Just going to clean that off there just a little bit. A little bit of curl there. Let's see. Yeah, we'll let it hang off to just slightly past the bend of the hook. That's good. And we're going to keep all of that tag there. And we're going to tie that tag in. You could let it spin around. Not a big deal. And we're going to tie all that tag in. And I want to stay right at the point of the hook. Now I'm going to take I'm going to use bird fur, but you can also use the black peacock herl. These are fantastic. So I'm going to go, I got 3 of them right here. I'm going to take those off. 4 of them it is. Then just nip that tip off there. And it doesn't matter, they're actually 2 going one way, 2 going the other way. We'll just put them in. They're about 2.5 the size of the Marabou. We'll go ahead and tie this. Yeah, they twisted. Doesn't really matter. We're going to take and trim this off. And I'm actually going to cut that up that way. And the reason I am tying all of this is when I go to glue the body on, the glue is going to have a nice base to grab and secure the foam to. Now with that on, I'm going to go ahead and take my bird fur. That's what it's called, bird fur. And these are silky silky chickens, the feathers from the silky chicken. I'm just going to grab just maybe 2 of them from the bottom. I want that real long, want those real long hairs there. There you go, I pulled some off. Now I'll see what kind of damage I did. Okay, I got a couple little ones here. Yeah, there was a couple. Make sure that those tips are pretty much lined up. That's actually pretty good. We're going to go ahead and put them right on top of the ostrich herl. This will give us a nice full tail. And these ostrich herl, when they get wet, they're gonna sink and they're gonna swim like crazy when you pull it. I'm gonna go ahead and trim this off now. It's because it's getting a little unruly there for me. There we go. Yep, I snuck it back there a little bit, so actually back about almost a 1/4 inch from where I should be, but not a big deal. Now I'm going to take a black, set that black strung saddle, and I'm going to go ahead and tie this in from the tip. Stand them all up. I'm going to take this fluffy off. Grab the tip, stand them up. You can actually get them to go backwards. Just about. There you go. Hold them to the back. I'm going to tie these in. And I'm going to tie all of this in while I'm here. Like I said, give it the head a nice amount to hold on to. Bring that forward, or bring that back. Now I'm going to wrap this. Try to get all of the hackle to one side as you're going, or before you start. Oh, we're going to wrap this. Keep these nice and tight. Yep, keep that tight. Stroking it towards the rear as you go. I love trout fishing and catching trout, but I'll tell you what, I really love going on a pond or a lake and catching fish there too. Those topwater strikes on the lake, on a lake or pond, are so beautiful. I'm going to stop it about there, although I still got a little bit of hackle left. Just back that off until I get my thread to, yep, I guess we're not going to back it off, we're going to go forward with it. There we go. Hold it up and turn that stem. And then now I'm going to go ahead and tie this in. This is a smaller, it is a smaller hook and a smaller fly, so we don't want real long hackle on here. Put a couple of wraps in front of it. Take the poke and snip and hold that and clip that off. I'm going to take and see how much further I have. Okay, I'm going to put a yellow one in and then another black one. I'm going to take a yellow one, a nice kind of stiff feathers. And I'm going to try to size it up to where to the same size as the previous. So I want to get it around here. Again, tie it in with the concave side to the shank. Just secure that. And we're going to wrap this. We want to get this tight. I'm going to go ahead and put my hackle pliers on there. There we go. And you want to kind of get this pretty tight. Almost like a spun deer hair. Had a little space. I went back inside. And grab that hackle a little bit higher up. Oop, I broke it. So I'm not going to hold it up higher. Okay, so now I'm going to have to tie this off. Just bring that back. And tie this off. Get the poke and snip one more time. Or your scissors, but the poke and snip ensures that you only cut what you want. Grab all of that and pull that back. We're going to give it like one thread width. Push that back. I'm going to go ahead and put another yellow one on there because it's not quite thick enough. Get rid of that. Now I'm going to take another black saddle hackle. Now since this is going to probably be the finished one, let me put that back up there. Okay, yep. This is going to be the last hackle on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this in by the tip. And I'm going to keep a little bit of that soft stuff because when I put it on, when I push the head on, the foam is actually going to push those soft ones to the rear. So I'm going to take that and I pull everything back. And I'm going to trim that. I'm going to hold the hackle by the tip, and I'm going to pull my fingers back so that I kind of stand it up at that 90 degree. I'm going to go ahead and tie this in. And bring that forward. I'm going to go ahead and trim that little piece there. And we're going to wrap this. Tie it in with the concave side towards the hook shank. Get this nice and tight to the yellow. Gonna put my hackle pliers on there. Make them tight. And I'm gonna use up almost all of this hackle right here. Probably will use it all. And we're going to tie that off. Going to take my poke and snip and get rid of that excess. Now I'm just going to go ahead and give this a whip finish now. Grab a whip finish and give it a quick whip finish. You can cut that thread. Now I'm going to test fit my, you want to make sure that the eye comes out. Got to have it out far enough for you to get that line, to get a line on it. And you can see how it's pushing the black back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take that off. I'm actually going to widen the backside with my awl just a little more. Now, the moment of truth, we're going to go ahead and put the super glue on there. When you put the super glue on, you want most of it to the front because you don't want it to push out and onto the fly itself. You don't want to put too much on. Just putting a small amount on there. Actually, the more super glue you have on it, the longer it takes for it to dry, but I'm not saying to load it up. Close that. Make sure that that's level. Push that in there. Make sure that eye is coming out. Make sure it's level. There we go. I moved the hook there a little bit. There, the eye is exposed. Now this is fishable just like this, but if you want to catch your buddy, you want to impress your fishing partner, you go ahead and take a little bit of super glue. Put it just a small drop. I'm going to put it on that larger dot that I put there. Take my eye on my bodkin, put that on there, hold it there for a couple of seconds, and since you have to hold it, that's the reason why you don't want to put a lot of super glue on there, because you'll stick your fingers to it. I'm going to put another 3mm eye on my bodkin needle. Going to go ahead and turn this around. Put a drop of glue on my large dot. Marking it where you want it is probably a good idea. Marking it beforehand. Take that eye, put that eye on there, hold it on there for a couple seconds. Now, if you want to go one step further, you could go ahead and put some rubber legs in the front. I think that right there is good enough, though. And you got a nice chugger popper right there. You got plenty. We cut the bottom so that we can make sure that we have the space between the point. Make sure that gap is nice and open. If you left it round, here's the cut piece. It would be, see how much more, that's not quite enough hooking power there. And here we have a black and yellow crappie popper. Crappie, bass, bluegill. Get some big bluegills on this baby. And I hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase any flies from me, go to etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.